point, like this, what does this mean? Is we're only gonna reach back higher, or we're either gonna respect this FVG since it's a pivotal point, or we're either gonna reach back into this. But this trade is way better than DAX, in my opinion, because we also have like London highs getting swept. As I said, we have alignment between POIs. We have everything we said we should have, right? So it's way better than. Oh, great stuff. Oh, I fucking hit my knee in my desk, bro. Oh my god, that shit hurts. So it's way better than DAX in multiple ways. Now we'll see what happens, but I'm down to try. I don't care about results. I care about growing. Like for me, even looking at price, it's way different, right? UK is way weaker, and first of all, we have that alignment between POIs I talked about previously. Even though I didn't start the live, I talked about this. So we'll see what happens. If it's a loss, it's a loss. Who cares? Like if it's a loss today, we're still gonna win tomorrow. I usually have 2 max trades per day, so. But I'm kind of sad about not taking that GeoSol here. That was GeoSol was pretty good. But what I need to do from now on is stop demo trading because it affects my judgment and I cannot really focus. First of all, like it reinforces bad habits. Like if you're consistently like demo trading and limit testing, it reinforces pretty much bad habits. And second of all, what it does is it takes away focus from what the market is actually telling. Because for example, let's see here, I would have bought, right, on my demo, I would have bought, but now I see price coming here. I don't think about, oh my god, wait, is price gonna go bearish, or is price gonna like continue in my favor? Like I think about continuing in my favor, and kind of my brain filters. Like same we were today on Geo we bought here. Because I bought, it takes away my vision from actually what the market is doing, and that is inverse or entry, and this would have been a good sell. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll see what this trade does. Overall main target is probably going to be around here if it reaches that area. For now we're stalling a bit, I think, because pre-New York, but I still think the entry should hold. We're still holding that FVG for now. Like we really wicked off it. It's a pivotal point in price, so it should hold lower technically, right? But it's also kind of previous consolidation, so we can see price fighting some reaction from here. But if it does, it does, right? Overall, at most, it should come towards retesting this consolidation. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't give a fuck, bro. I think it's a worthy trade to take. That's what and I have a pretty clear read that what the market's been going bearish. What else can it do? At most, the last thing it can react of, in my opinion, is going to be that rejection bar. But I still see price coming lower, especially since we inverse the 50-minute FVG. That's what I see in price, and that was because we inverse here. See buyers getting rejected, inversed. Like it's the classic bearish pattern. It's a classic bearish pattern. So we should hold. We're stalling for New York, but this is pretty bearish how we're holding. I'm curious on the 1 minute how it looks. Yeah, it does look good. It's a pivotal point in price. This classic behavior to pivotal points. It usually holds them a lot before finally displacing lower. Right, but this is gonna be a pretty long trade. I might scale in, but right now we don't really have necessary confluence to scale in, so I'm gonna wait. If a really clear opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna scale in. Probably main TP take like close or take big portion of my position around this lows, and then the scaling probably gonna let run towards a higher time frame. Higher time frame drawn liquidity. What did I do? Okay, so if you think about this range and we put targets on it, where is it? Targets, this is 0207, so it's actually kind of perfect. Like in full deviation we should reach here, but it doesn't really work like that. I feel like max this 06, but we'll see. For now I'm gonna start backtesting, not backtesting, journaling my dark trade. There are some things to learn, but it's not like massively like a massive L. There's a bit of misalignment between POIs, I think. Actually, so I explained this previously on my recording, as I'm also recording every live I make. This actually was a matter of POIs. It was not a matter of drawn liquidity. If drawn liquidity gets taken, and we see rejection from it, it doesn't mean anything. It just means price is retracing. It, drawn liquidity getting taken means something, like means, I don't know how to explain. How do I say this? Like means something strong when we also see impulsiveness behind the move. Right here is just retracement. It's just retracement because Asia started displacing early. This is just retracement. It's retracement behavior, which means price is gonna seek some liquidity or some internal POI that was probably gonna react of lately later. Which in this case, so that's what I was comparing. What did price reach towards? This is the next drawn liquidity, or POI, you can also call it. So what was more likely for price to continue going off a 50-minute FVG, or price to continue retracing towards new week opening gap and the 1 hour inverse? What zone do you think holds more relevance to price? It's obvious. The obvious answer is these two zones because it's a stack of confluences. Like 50-minute VG had an intention of going lower. It was a decent PI because it held price. We can clearly see it kind of held price. It tried to push price lower, but price wanted to reach this area before finally going lower, if you know what I mean. So the stack of is just a stack of confluences and choosing the higher quality POI rather than one reason to price. In this case, this was our highest quality POI, and we'll see that most likely now price will still start displacing lower towards at least this lows, or probably this lows. So it's just a matter of stacking probabilities. Also, this is the big, like, not the big mistake, the main mistake of the tree was POI, high quality POI, and what is more likely to hold. Like this is what I did with GU as well. Like more likely to hold, I mean not necessarily, because here was more like liquidity based. Like obviously this was the high quality POI, but we didn't have another POI here, right? So yeah, it's a bit of a different case. Like this was just where I wanted price to see come, because this was the only POI, but price ended up reacting just off liquidity because we were in a 4 hour. So it's a bit a different story compared to. Ooh, okay, we're not. It's nice rejection. Like for me, this looks still bearish. Wait, do I have two charts again? Yes. Fuck. And this is gonna be main target, second target, and this is just a level I want to monitor. We're gonna make this smaller just to make it a bit easier to watch. So again, it's a matter of kind of choosing POI. So I see we didn't even have like necessarily a 4 hour here on DAX. With that 1 hour AVG, how do I do this? So let me actually, I think I'm gonna scan this. Oh fuck, it's on my second monitor. Yeah. Let me. So, new week opening gap kind of filled. Filled. POI. POI. No. Asia lows. Drawn liquidity taken. Stupid, bro. Just a hole. Now we just mitigated this. At this point, we should use this place. But I wonder if we're gonna have momentum today because it's a pretty low probability day. Oops, I didn't want to do that. No, but did I want to open my other trading view? Okay. So let me actually kind of do this so it's more visible. But kind of, I don't know how to call this, rejection block. I would call it low, strong low. Yeah, I mean iffy market structure shift. I would call it iffy market structure shift. Like the pattern is not that bad in itself. I feel like. Oops. What did I do right actually in this trade? Much nothing. I mean, kinda not. I mean, it's so funny. Like on some of my trades I haven't write this. What did I do right in this trade? Pretty much nothing. But yeah, some trades are like that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go take a break. We got a big good rejection now. I just want to see this continue on further. Like we rejected our entry first of all, and we rejected both of these POIs. You just want to see some momentum out the lows, towards the lows. Like we should have momentum, considering how slow London was, and considering that London retraced instead of this place. Basically, this is. I mean, this is very similar to like a delayed entry, delayed. Fuck me, bro. I don't even know how to call these setups anymore. Like delayed trending Asia, except the trending, like the displacement didn't happen in Asia. It happened in Frankfurt Open, with London kinda finishing the. This happens a lot. Like London finishing this displacement into reaching on drone liquidity, then most of the London session actually retrace towards the POI. We sweep that London highs and then we continue lower. Like I see this pattern a lot actually, and what I really liked about this trade was this consolidation right here. Consolidation above Asia, like above London. This consolidation slow, like put my trust into taking this trade, because seeing this, it's a pretty clear sign that we're gonna go lower. Like this is just building a strong high. This is clearly the lower high, and seeing something like this is very rarely that price actually comes in manipulated. This is really strong protection around these highs. So usually, especially since we got that displacement, that's why I was confident in entering pre-New York. Usually I'm not doing that unless I'm really seeing something clear. You know what I mean? So in this case, this was a clear lower high formation, same we did here, except this is a bit more cleaner, right? It would be nice for this trade to be a W, but we'll see. Like depending on the displacement we get, like yeah, we should definitely reach. Like I see price in my eyes when I look at this, I see price reaching towards this low. Like just following the displacement pattern if it happened around here. Like I just see a clear bearish continuation with final TP being on the lows here, which is what is this low anyways? Like at this point, it's kind of weird to choose your. I can't even find that shit. Oops, I forgot about this. Bruh, fuck off. I think it's. Wait, what is my. I think it's this low. I can't figure it out. What is 7408? I mean, it's probably, yeah. It's probably this low right here. Ooh, 3.5, obviously. Well, I'm not sure. Unless price like massively displaces. I'm not sure we're gonna leave price to run that much. I mean, I'm probably gonna take some parts off the trade. But for now, it's looking good. I like this. 4 hour got fully closed. I like 1 hour. Like as I said, when I look at price here, I just see price melting lower, and it's not a bias. It's just by looking and seeing price for so many times in my life. We'll see. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go smoke soon. Really like that rejection we formed around the highs. Like those wicks really talk a lot. Like this wicks talk a lot in terms of behavior, right? See how no bodies close above our entry pattern. This is a good entry. This is a good entry. This is when you take a good entry. This area was really pivotal. Why? Because first it was the inverse and second was this. And that's what price had to make a like small wick before leaving lower. I actually saw some very similar price action in one of my AUD USD trades I took. Like, see, no bodies close above our entry. This is a good entry, and that's why I didn't. Initially, I was thinking about taking my entry off here, but when price has pivotal, what I mean by pivotal is important areas. So, like, for example, an inverse or something like that, price will not waste effort to just come deep in here and then go lower. Like, it will not waste effort. This is like a ceiling price will take, and then from here just continue. You know what I mean? So, like, two important POIs that were formed around here that it's too beneficial for prices to hold them lower instead of coming and mitigating here. You know what I mean? I don't know if I like this rejection, but for now it doesn't mean much. Like we should still continue. Like the displacement looks good. Right, the liquidity buyers got rejected. I didn't want to look at it 1 minute, but we'll see. Should though continue. That I would want to see a bit more momentum, but we're like in a low probability day. Depends. Probably late New York. I'm not sure. Or maybe after, yeah, PM session. I don't know. We'll see if we have some momentum on the lows. For now, it's not necessarily good that we close that gap, but I don't think it matters that much. It would be nice for this trade to be a W, obviously, because we're gonna start recovering. But if not, who cares? Who cares? To be honest, I learned not to care about trading anymore. Like that's when you perform your best, and that's when everything's gonna go better because you're focused on the process. Like for me, this is a good trade. I would have in this trade like day after day after day. And if I know that, I'm fine with whatever the result is. You know what I mean? Now it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's too early to judge. I think it's too early to judge. We are rejecting, but I don't know. Like if we started, for example, if we start a breaking above this high with momentum, then it's probably a reason of concern. Because I don't generally like this, because this is generally a rejection pattern, but it doesn't mean we're gonna break. Like this can also mean that price is gonna hold this every G. It's just gonna come and retest this area once again because it's such a pivotal area, and then break lower towards this low, and so on. For now, It all it means is gonna come and retest. Either take this high or either respect it. As long as it doesn't break with momentum, if we're gonna see like a big bullish gap print over this and then see a retest and hold it, that's pretty much fucked. But otherwise, other than that, it just means the price is gonna come and retest this because it has no momentum. It has no momentum for going lower. That's why it does this like many times. That's why price does this. It has no momentum of going lower, so it has to retrace and retake some orders. And we also have this 1 minute gap, so we should probably hold lower from this 1 minute. Looking at the 1 minute here, this high looks pretty strong. I don't think it's gonna get taken. So yeah, pretty much it. As long as we're holding that high, it doesn't matter. So there's two options. We either hold that high from here and we start breaking lower, or we come back into this area of inversion on the 5 minute, which is here. So either we make a deep pullback. As long as we don't break impulsively above the high, it doesn't matter what's happening, right? We did take this low, and that's what we rejected off. It's pretty clear that over this low we rejected. Like by looking at price and looking at behavior, like how bodies didn't close initially. Yes, this move should have held lower, but going higher right now doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean much, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Doesn't mean that much. So first, I think what did I do wrong? First is intuition, probabilities, thinking, EFI setup, entry pattern, close, pretty much. I think also demo trading too much. Intuition plus entry pattern. Let's see. So let's start with our entry pattern here. So so let's see about our entry pattern here. Should we move on the 3 minute? Okay. How do I do this? Study this entry a bit more in depth. In depth. Rejection. Inversion here. True. Area of inversion. Kinda. Let's say this close is not complete here. Oops. I don't know if I like this break, but we're gonna sit here and trust it. Kinda lacks momentum. It should have closed below. Incomplete. Wait, incomplete. Or half half-assed. Let's say this candle right here. This candle was the this point we're seriously considering closing, so we gotta see how we behave here. Again, this gap has become really important now. As I said, this is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see price break strongly above this high and form a gap overlap. This kind of exactly what happened, but we gotta leave price room to print, right? It doesn't mean that the trade is over yet. We'll see how we behave overall to this. Now this obviously becomes our area of close where we're gonna monitor closing if we close like this, but we also might still continue off here. So we're focusing on the process regardless of the results. It doesn't matter. Like here we gotta look how price reacts. If price closes like this and then on the retest we're gonna monitor the close. Like at this point it's probably over, to be honest, but we should have not necessarily, like we can still print that lower high. Like this high should generally stay respected because it's a really strong high. So we gotta see how this 5 minute candle closes and what we do when we retest it, right? Because obviously I would like it to get closed like right now, bro, close it. but that's not a price is not always gonna give you what you want. But we just got a deeper pullback. Initially, we should have displaced lower, but we lack momentum. That's why we had an intention that we rejected higher, but that doesn't mean the trade is over. Like, see, the 5-minute candle is getting closed. This is a really good reaction for us, actually. I kind of knew this is where I wanted to enter initially, but we didn't guarantee how we didn't guarantee price is going to come here by having this rejection. If price had a bit of more momentum and probably not be in a low probability day, we would have probably continued straight off this gap here and still continue lower where we took our initial entry. This is really good. At this point, we're pretty confident in still holding the trade. Ooh, big inversion, actually. This can be an area of scaling for us. But I don't know if I want to necessarily scale on the 1 minute though. Like, this is a really big rejection of that area, and this is really good for us. See, we're inverting 2 gaps here. This is a really good reaction, exactly what we wanted to see. That's why I said the trade is not over. We completely closed that 5-minute gap now. So that's exactly what we want to see. Exactly. Really good. This can be a good scaling. I actually want to, this can be a really good scaling, by the way. We inverse, like on a retest of this, I want to see generally what R can we get. I'm not willing to scale in a lot, but oof, rejecting really hard. Okay, so it's probably like 476. It's probably gonna be, ooh, but we're gonna get like crazy R. Oh my god, on the 1 minute though. So let me actually make some calculations. Because I do really like that inversion. Oh my god, I think it's too late, but I'm gonna try anyways. 77006, stop loss 775202. Come on, bro, can you move faster than this? 017. I sold with another position here on the scaling, and we're gonna modify. I kind of scaled in like a 02 with a stop loss above the high 7750. Take profit's gonna be, I don't know where, probably on the lows, like 7537 7535. Okay, yeah, that's good. And we're getting a really nice, so this is where our scaling, something like this. And on the lows we're getting 3R, so means kind of scale like 0, so we're getting like 0.7. But we should continue, like, but it's not necessarily the case, but technically we should. Like 1 minute inversion, really good inversion here. I don't really see, we did have this area, but I still don't think so. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I still think it's a good scaling, even though it's on the 1 minute. I don't think it matters in this case that it's on the 1 minute. This is basically our scaling with a 3R. Probably this is probably the one that we're gonna leave runner, and we're probably gonna switch places with the big portion of the position like this. But we're gonna leave that to price, so probably this is gonna get, like, TP is gonna get switched between them, because obviously you want to take a big portion of your position on like this. Yeah, that's good. And we're leaving the runner go towards like 1%. That's fair. We don't even need that much, to be honest. We only need like 1% and we're chilling. Yeah, kind of around here, let's say. It's fine. Let's see. For me, it's a solid scaling, like inversion, real clear inversion after we reached RPI. Now if it holds, it's up the price. Like, for me, it's clear signs how we inverse. Like, yeah, it might be a loss, it might not be a loss. Who cares? I like what price does here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I still think it's gonna hold lower. We have too many zones here. This guy's scaling was on this 1 minute inversion. He might hold, he might not hold. It depends. Who cares for 0.2? For me, this should hold lower. We fully closed the bullish gap, so it should hold lower. But now it's still up to price once again. Oh yeah, let me do this. I keep forgetting to do this, bro. I'm so stupid sometimes. Can I also like, can I put this behind somehow? Like this? Yeah, I feel like that's a bit more fair. But bro, what is it doing, bro? What is he doing, bro, big birdie? Sound like this, I feel like. So yeah, we're just letting price run at this point. Scaling, we inversed our TP, so our main position is gonna be at 2R, like big bulk of our position, and our scaling is gonna be like 6R. I think a 4 actually, because this is like 4 or 5, so actually around here. If we manage to reach that, or now it doesn't look promising, but it doesn't look bad either. Like as long as we're gonna hold this inverse lower, it doesn't mean anything basically. I would have scaled in more normally, but considering that we took a loss today, I don't want to like be aggressively scaling in. I still think this trade is gonna work. Like for me, this is kind of textbook, like a textbook trending this place. It really is actually a textbook trending this place, to be honest. It also came off the highs. And considering the bearish moment that we're in, we should easily work. And how now we mitigated, this is the perfect area for us to get scaled in after we mitigate that consolidation. So yeah, just I want to see some momentum. That's it, pretty much. I don't know exactly where we scaled in. I mean, our scaling was exactly on the 1 minute average, and see how our entries in general around the same place. This is kind of how you want to scale in usually, when your entries are kind of around the same place. For example, let's say price leaves and then comes and retests your break even, like your initial entry, and then gives us another confirmation that it's going to go lower. That's when you want to scale in normally. And that's a good scaling point. At least that's how I do it most of the time. We should start seeing some momentum soon. First hour of New York usually does something like this. Like it's same as, I mean, London in this case was impulsive, but still like a retrace, rebalance, and then we should start seeing some momentum out of the lows. Like for me, this looks bearish every day of the week, like this 1 minute. As I said, final TP, like first position, probably main, like probably not gonna like read and take more for this. So probably main target is gonna be like 2R, just secure it 2% and leave the runner run towards another 1% because this is a 0-2 risk. So that's just perfect. Like for me, if I make it 3%, I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I'm chilling. If I make it 3%. Like I don't need more than 3%. There's some cases where I make like 3.5, some cases where I make 5. It depends on the quality of the trade. Like in this case, we cannot say like it's like a multiple target trade. Our main target is gonna be London lows if we reach that. Our main target is London lows, like it's clear. It's a lower time frame target, higher time frame target. We don't have that clear of an objective. So I cannot say it's a trade that would leave run like towards like a make a 5% on it, or I'm not that really highly confident in the trade, but I still think it's a good trade. Or also usually scalings offer a bit of better R because you're forming a high and you're basically anticipating the high to hold, if that makes sense. And that's why you see our stop loss is here, but on the main position our stop loss is a bit higher. It's about here. Scale is usually offer a better R because you're placing your stop loss at a recent low at a price like that's just forming, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain, but yeah, we should be chilling. We're still lacking momentum, but we should start displacing. Like this is kind of building a bearish momentum down, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna hold or not. It should technically. Like for me, this 1 minute inverse look really clean. Really strong reaction exactly after reaching the area I initially expected price to come towards. Like it's just like price dictating exactly what I want. There's no reason not to scale it, right? Even if it's on the 1 minute, it doesn't matter. If the 1 minute has strong influence and the area you're looking to trade has strong influence, it doesn't matter if it's 1 minute or 3 minute. Generally, if you don't have such a strong area that you would expect price to hold, yeah, then don't take 1 minute. But wait, wait. I'm gonna still let it run. I believe in the trading. I always will. Killing got instantly whipped. I don't know what this is though. I know what I mean. Yeah, the yeah, pretty much is fucked at this point. I don't know. Like for me, I still consider the trade worthy. Like over and over again, I would still take it. We just printed bullish. It's crazy that this indices have been dwelling lower and lower and lower over and over again, and when I short, it's going up. Like that's just crazy. But get me to break even, baby. Get me to balance zero on the account, and I'll start going higher again. I don't care. It's annoying, yeah, but what can you do? Can you do something about this? It's just the market sometimes. I feel like I don't even know what. Yeah, that low cost, but we inversed at 50 minutes. Like again, like there was so many signs of this trade working that I generally don't understand. Sometimes the market fails. That's pretty much it. It doesn't mean the trade is over yet, but our scaling got wicked instantly. I don't know what this was, pumping volatility randomly. Our scaling got wicked, and now we're just up to letting our main positions run if we manage to. My stop loss is above this order block. I don't think this order block should get broken. I think we should start building lower, but it doesn't mean the trade is invalidated. It just means it made a deeper pullback. Our scaling got wicked. Overall, that entry would have held like 9 out of 10 times. I don't think my scaling is wrong. I don't think this trade is wrong. Like it's a textbook trade for me. Is drone liquidity really causing this trade to fail? I'm not sure. Right, I'm not sure. This is what it's up to study. I'm not sure. But for me, when I look up price, it should hold this high. So I don't know. This high is really, really strong. You just got rejected massively. Sellers got rejected here, sellers got rejected here. Like this, I don't know. Just bias is bullish, I guess. But what are we gonna draw towards this order block? Really? Like it sometimes, yeah, the market doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't mean I still feel like when I look at price here, there's very likely to fail out this consolidation. So that's why I'm gonna listen to my intuition regardless of my account balance. It doesn't matter, results don't matter. I'm just gonna listen to my intuition, please my stop loss above. If we're gonna get like it is what it is, like I don't care. To be honest, like I still this trade I would have taken over and over again. Like is drone liquidity, is that drone liquidity really? I mean thing is we had this huge consolidation which might have caused price to, yeah. If you look at it this way, yeah, it was kind of likely to start going bullish off here because this is a huge area of support, of resistance support, however you want to call it. If you look at it that way, yes, but I wasn't really aware. I was just kind of looking at lower time frame price action. So that's why we might have seen a reaction because there's a lot of orders around this area. This got dwelled. So now this becomes kind of our area of draw, I would say. But not necessarily, like, still, I don't know. For me, it's still a good trade. Let's see what you ended up melting. Still continuing to melt, holding that 50 minute probably will still break lower. AU's Euro's looking a bit bearish. Gold is looking bearish over this. Yeah, pretty much. For me, as I said, my intuition still likes this. Still likes, like, this is a really strong high because it fully filled that gap. So unless it's completely gonna invalidate our trade ideas and gonna completely go bullish for no reason, this high should hold. So for bearish scenarios, this high should hold. Like it's a really strong high. It fully mitigated that FVG. It had a really deep fill. It has a fractal formation. So this high should hold for bearish scenarios to stay intact. That's why I'm not gonna close yet. Like regardless of what price does, I'm not gonna close because I believe in this high. Even on the 50 minute when I look, I still see this high holding lower towards this rejection block at least. Like usually reversals don't just happen like this. Even if you were to reverse, we should still draw towards this and maybe potentially later on start going higher. That's what I see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like it is what it is. Still gonna improve, get me to break even, because that's where I fucking lock in, and that's when I'm gonna fucking destroy this account in a positive sense. I still know I'm a good trader. I'm not gonna let two losses make me doubt myself. Right? I'm not gonna let two losses make me doubt myself. I still know what trader I am. But these rejections are pretty good for now. Like on the 3 minute, kind of like how they look. But now this order block becomes pretty dangerous, like the area of inversion. But I don't know. I still feel like it's not a bad trade, even if you reach into draw. Like if you had like a really strong inverse, yes. But this just is a retracement. Like if you look at price, if we had boom, like a massive reaction higher, then I would have considered this trade being risky to take. We kind of had a bearish reaction of the POI, but is it this the bearish reaction we had? Only this? We rejected sellers once, twice. Yeah, technically it's pretty bad, but we're gonna wait. We're gonna be patient. Regardless of what happens, I don't really care about the balance of the account. I said this multiple times. If we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose now, but we're gonna make it back later. It's still a textbook trade for me. I've seen the setup print over and over again, and still it's a textbook trade. What might maybe not work is where we are higher time frame. This is maybe what I was unaware of, like this consolidation. This made it risky to try and short into this much resistance around this area. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But as I said, I still think price will reach back into where it's supposed to be, which is London lows, and then maybe tomorrow start failing or late New York session. But we'll see how we also behave to this gap here, because it's also this area of inversion. It's also, yeah, it's basically one area perfectly overlapped. It doesn't mean the trade is over. No. Because if we form a lower high here and start breaking lower, we're mostly gonna reach at least into this and this. There's still a potential for that to happen, but or we do this. We still think that can happen, but I think, yeah, I think it's actually hard time trade here. Like the reason this trade is failing, I need to like get back into the mindset of really relying a lot on higher time frame. But still, yeah, since we reached strong liquidity, we reached the strong low that we just took. I think this is a gap, isn't it? But I'm not sure price reaching 7555. Did the price reach into that level? Oh, it did actually. So yeah, it was my unawareness of higher time frame, but again, it doesn't mean that the trade is over. It just means it shows why sellers got rejected twice and why price is fighting bullishness because of the orders to the left. We should come back into this and this. We monitor how we behave. We're gonna consider closing. Because we had one buy sell liquidity rate, second buy sell liquidity rate, now we're consolidating. This is usually when we start going lower, but not necessarily the case always, but usually how it does. Markets are pretty slow today. I mean, expected since it's CPI week. It's not really a week you want to go high risk on. I think a mistake intraday profile textbook, hard time frame textbook, but um, for our lacking a bit, I mean, not necessarily we just left off a 4 hour period. What does this mean? We're gonna reach into drone liquidity. What drone liquidity was is this? That's the thing. Like, withdrawal liquidity got tapped, and usually, but again, not as strong. So I still see price coming back here. We're gonna have to study this, but I don't think there are massive things wrong. I think there are just that fact I had on the higher time frame. Like even when we take a drawn liquidity, we usually, especially when we don't inverse strongly after, we will still come back and retest and then inverse, then start going bullish. For now, it doesn't matter. We might also hold this order block, but it's a really iffy order block, so I don't know. Mark is really slow, sad. We should have been more active last week, but considering the reason I did what I did, I don't think necessarily it's wrong, but I think this first part of the week is not gonna be really not profitable necessarily, but like quality. But it depends. Like it's just the first hour of New York. We might still see that displacement lower. Said our scaling got stopped, but yeah, that is what it is. It's 0203, doesn't matter. For me, I like this rejections again. This high is strong, so this is the criteria. Even though even if price rejects of this, I'm not gonna close the trade. Like I still think this high will stay respected. Like this is because of this high. This is a kind of no management trades while in drawdown. Because the high is really strong. Now it's important how we behave because we just reached that area. I said we need to monitor. It's not easy, bro. Like not in terms of necessarily price action or what you have to do in your work, but even staying here in front of the charts and monitoring your trade is really tiring. Like I feel like 1 hour of work in trading is way harder than like 5 hours of work in IT because you have to think about decisions every couple of candles. What are you gonna do? What are you seeing? What is, you know what I mean? Like it's just your brain needs to go on. Like your brain goes on for a while. I'm really tired. Like dang. I'm just gonna trust my intuition that this high is gonna hold, but it does depend. Why am I so tired, bro? I need to take a break, like not look at the charts for a while. So now let the trade run, especially if we keep displacing lower now. We're gonna chill. That 1 minute rejection looks good, but we gotta see follow through from price. Now with letting it run, regardless of drawdown. Actually, this trade is most likely gonna work. At least at this point, it's looking like it's gonna work. We're inverting that, so we're most likely gonna go towards the war. But I'm not gonna sit here, bro, like and sit on the chart and just be stuck here. I wanna do some work and yeah, I wanna chill a bit. I'm gonna still watch this trade play out, and it's most likely gonna play out. But I'm not just gonna sit here and like stay all day here and watch it. So it's probably gonna work actually.